Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to Nine Nar Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. In You Will Own Nothing, Your War with a New Financial World Order and How to Fight Back, Carol Roth takes a critical look at the current trajectory of global finance and property rights. Roth, a former investment banker and business strategist, draws on her extensive experience to argue that individual freedoms and ownership are under threat by growing governmental and corporate power. With compelling evidence and sharp analysis, she outlines how the principles of capitalism and personal liberty are being eroded in favor of a model that could lead to widespread dependence on the state and select corporations. This book serves as a wake-up call to those who value freedom, urging readers to take action to protect their rights and ensure a future where individual ownership and liberty can flourish. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, the rise of the new financial world order. Carol Roth identifies a pivotal shift toward a new financial world order, marked by increased centralization of power with governments and multinational corporations. This transition is fueled by technological advancements, regulatory changes, and the manipulation of financial markets, which have facilitated unprecedented levels of control over economic activities and individual assets. Roth argues that this does not merely represent a shift in economic models, but poses a fundamental threat to the principles of democracy and individual freedom. She examines how this consolidation of power is achieved through policymaking, financial engineering, and social engineering techniques that often operate beyond public scrutiny. Roth provides vivid examples, including the push for digital currencies by central banks, which she claims could potentially allow unparalleled surveillance and control over individual financial transactions, one and ever one. Secondly, the illusion of ownership. Roth delves into the increasingly popular narrative that society can progress towards a utopian future where ownership is unnecessary and all needs are provided for by a benevolent state or consortia of corporations. This vision, Roth argues, is dangerously misleading as it assumes that central authorities will always act in the public's best interest, an assumption history repeatedly disproves. She unpacks the concept of "you will own nothing and be happy," dissecting its implications for personal freedom, autonomy, and financial security. Roth warns that without the right to own property and assets, individuals lose a fundamental means of independence and security, making them vulnerable to exploitation and control. The chapter discusses how such an environment stifles innovation, and the dynamic exchange of ideas and goods that are crucial for a prosperous society. Thirdly, the role of technology in surveillance and control. A significant portion of Roth's critique targets the role of technology as an enabler of surveillance and control by the state and corporations. She explains how digital advancements, while bringing numerous benefits, also present formidable risks to personal freedom when misused by powerful entities. Roth discusses the dual-edged sword of social media, digital currencies, smart technology, and artificial intelligence, emphasizing their potential to infringe on privacy and restrict autonomy. The chapter highlights case studies where technology has been used to monitor, influence, and manipulate economic behavior and public opinion, outlining a future where every transaction, movement, and even thought could be tracked and controlled. Roth argues for a balanced approach to technology adoption, protecting individual freedoms while harnessing the benefits of innovation. Fourthly, strategies for preserving ownership and freedom. Recognizing the challenges posed by the new financial world order, Roth does not leave the reader without hope or strategy. She offers practical advice on how individuals can resist encroaching control and maintain their freedom and ownership rights. Strategies include investing in tangible assets, advocating for transparent and fair financial regulations, and participating in the political process to safeguard personal property rights. Roth also encourages readers to leverage technology responsibly to protect privacy and counteract surveillance, suggesting the use of encryption, secure communication tools, and decentralized platforms. The emphasis is on proactive engagement and the importance of community and collaboration in resisting authoritarian tendencies and preserving individual liberties. Lastly, the ethical implications of the new financial world order. Finally, Roth addresses the moral and ethical considerations of the shift towards a new financial world order. She challenges the notion that relinquishing individual ownership for collective management inherently leads to a more equitable and just society, arguing instead that it creates new forms of inequality and exploitation. Roth calls for a reevaluation of the values that underpin our financial and political systems, advocating for a return to principles that prioritize individual rights, ethical governance, and the dignity of self-determination. This chapter explores the consequences of eroding personal ownership and freedom, not just for economic prosperity, but for the human spirit and the fabric of society. Roth's analysis serves as a reminder of the inherent value of autonomy and the dangers of sacrificing it for the promise of security and convenience. In conclusion, Carol Roth's You Will Own Nothing, Your War with a New Financial World Order and How to Fight Back is a timely and important read for anyone concerned about personal freedoms, ownership rights, and the future of democracy. Roth makes a compelling case that the ongoing shift towards greater control by states and corporations poses a significant threat to individual liberties. Her analysis is grounded in concrete examples and bolstered by her expertise in finance and business strategy. This book is especially recommended for entrepreneurs, policymakers, technologists, and anyone interested in safeguarding their financial independence and autonomy. The insights offered in Roth's work provide a foundation for understanding the challenges ahead and for taking action to ensure a future where individuals can thrive with their rights and assets intact. In a world increasingly dominated by powerful entities, Roth's call to action is both critical and empowering. If you would like to support Carol Roth, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.